You're listening to the New Old Heads podcast, shot live every Tuesday at twitch.tv/newoldheads and released every Thursday at noon via bringingdowntheband.com. The show is brought to you by Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the show directly by becoming a member at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You're now tuned into the New Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7th. The entire crew is here, starting off with my man Longevity. How are you, sir?
Doing all right. Thank you.
Seems like you're in the Christmas spirit here before we got started on the pre-show.
Not really. Well, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't felt the Christmas spirit in probably like a decade.
Okay, well.
I don't know if that comes back at a certain age.
You just killed the vibe, man.
Probably when you have kids.
That's probably what I'm thinking.
Yeah, it'll come back. My man Jay Moore is in the building. What's happening, man?
You know the vibes, blessed and highly favored, flapping but can't fly, kicking but not high.
I spit that game. To my immediate left, my man DJ Jay Diff. What's happening, man?
Salutations.
How's everything?
Everything's good, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, I can't complain.
Cool.
Glad you got a case for the bat phone. I see you.
The bat phone?
Keep that protected.
That's the 6, right?
Yeah.
Like it so far?
I love it. Well, it's
non-sponsored labels.
With me, though, with this particular phone, I was used to getting a phone every year. I haven't had a new phone in 4 years.
Mine's the 3.
So any phone that I probably would have got, I probably would have loved it.
Yeah.
I'm 3 years in on my joint.
As long as I ever had a phone.
I'm 3 and some change. Yeah. It'll be time here in a little bit.
Yeah. I'm still happy with mine. So until it.
I was too.
What
the
they
only
say?
thing that made me have to do it because I cracked it so much this past year.
They say if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So clearly you broke it.
Having a baby, she was messing with it. She threw it across the floor one time.
And she got an arm like Peyton, huh?
And then that was it. Once the first crack happened, and all of a sudden you start dropping it a whole lot.
Over. Well, I mean, you seem to be happy with that one, man. So
yeah, man.
Glad you got a case. All right, shout out to the chat. Everybody's in the building. We appreciate you all. We casted a slight vote for our first topic, and they spoke clearly and very fast as to what we should talk about for the first topic, which will be versus. It's going to happen Thursday when this episode comes out. Or is it December? Wait a minute. Is it Thursday? I even look away now. I cracked my screen on my computer, y'all. So
December 4th is Saturday.
Sorry. Thank you, sir. It'll be Saturday.
So Thursday, it's happening. So whatever day. It'll be the second.
The second. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be the second.
So that is 3 6 Mafia versus Bone Thugs and Harmony. And for people our age, this will be somewhat interesting because we know their entire catalogs. We were talking about this prior to and put, if you're in the chat, also put who you pick as well in this versus. But I heard someone say perhaps it was, it might have been both of you all, Jay Diff and Jay Moore, that Bone is pretty much going to get washed. And I think Jay Moore said they have about 4 trump cards and a possible.
No,
is that what you said?
I said they have 4 impossibles.
4 impossibles.
They got
spades.
They got 4 big jokers.
They have 4 big jokers.
First of the month.
Okay.
Let's see. Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
Okay.
Join with Biggie
for the love of money.
That counts.
And I think the impossible is Thug Love.
No, they got more than that.
Biggie.
Those are the
more
big
than
ones.
that.
Like, I'm talking about where I don't think 3 6 Mafia could beat.
Well, first of
Notorious
the month is
Thugs?
big.
Huh?
First of the month is big.
Yeah, that's a big joker. That's what I'm saying.
Crossroads.
Yeah.
I think 3 6 Mafia, if they play, there's things that could beat the Crossroads.
Crossroads is a bigger record.
It's a bigger record, but on a cultural, like,
the biggest record of any record either group has done.
you play Who Run It.
That's a good point.
You play Who Run It.
Who Run It, yeah.
You play Who Run It.
Notorious Thugs.
It depends. So let's put
It really does
put this
depend
in
on how
perspective
things are put together.
into place. Though.
All right.
The thing about Who Run It is. Hey, that's one of my favorite joints. Like, I'm hyped now, just
I know,
hearing it in my head.
That's super ignorant right there.
That's what they played after the Rams won the Super Bowl.
But
That's
you
super
have to
ignorant.
realize there's a whole section of individuals that never turned up to that song.
That's true. That's true.
Ever in life. And I'm going to give you an example of how I witnessed this.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to the 𝐀𝐿CAST concert in Atlanta, when they played their last show together, 8Ball and MJG opened the show up, like, well, amongst a bunch of other people, but I'm going to give you the 8Ball MJG sample. They came out to Don't Make. So imagine you kind of classified in the same realm as Running or whatever.
Run It. Who Run It.
Who Run It. when I was dumb hype off that, and
Yeah.
I'm looking around, I'm like, they don't know what this song is.
Okay.
I was like, this is weird, man. I'm
No,
like,
it's weird.
what
when
part
you're
of the
in-
Matrix am I in?
And when you're in different cultural spaces.
Yeah, man.
How things work. Now the thing is, depending on who's there, some of these Bone Thugs and Harmony songs that, like, if I could teach the world might go over.
Oh my God, that's a terrible song.
I know, but you know what? Yeah,
But it goes back to
that
who was
song
there.
that song they the song with the Phil Collins.
If I could teach
the Take Me Home.
Come on, man.
Like that might if depending on who's there, but at the same time I'm thinking that ain't gonna beat sipping on some scissor.
Is For the Love of Money gonna work?
Yeah, it's gonna
That's
work.
that's another one. That's one of their big jokers.
Okay, that's one of the big jokers. So you said, just so we on the same page, give me the 4 big jokers again that you said.
Crossroads. No, not even Crossroads.
Oh,
For the Love of Money.
all right,
Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
all right.
Notorious Thugs.
I don't think you said that at first.
didn't say
Long
No.
put that in
That's right. That's right. You said Notorious Thugs.
there. Yes. So you said
Thuggish Ruggish. Okay, the first. Okay, the first.
first of the month,
First of the month.
Thuggish Ruggish Bone.
For the Love of Money.
For the Love of Money.
Oh, there was another one. I can't remember.
Crossroads belongs on there though.
I would say, yeah. You know what? I have to put Crossroads. It transcended all
Okay.
cultures.
It was like, what about the Bone Thug song when they were, when cowboy hats?
No,
No, I don't think
that
that's
gets
it.
no play in my
Off the
ride.
Mo Thugs trilogy.
What about Thug Love with Pac? Off the Pac feature.
They gotta play it.
They
have to
gotta play it.
They have to play it. I don't know. They're in California. This is going to be in California, so that might be a big joker.
All right, so what are the big jokers for 3-6 Mafia? Now here you go.
Sorry. Whatever that is.
What
mark
time
that.
is that? Yeah, see, 9:47. I got that.
Tear the club up.
7:15.
Who run it?
Who run it's the biggest?
Project Pata.
Yeah, if they get to bring
Shout out to
Yeah.
if they get to bring
Pastor
Project
Troy.
Pat out,
Hey, come on.
Chicken Head.
That whole Getty
Chicken
Green
head.
going, sipping on some scissors.
They can't-
If they
Yeah,
get to
they
bring
can't bring him out,
if
can't
they bring out Gangsta Boo, where them dollars at?
Man,
Chicken Head gonna go. I ain't gonna lie. Chicken
they
Head,
got a
if they
whole,
can do that, Chicken
They got
Head's
an
gonna go.
Oscar, man. What song did they win an Oscar
Hard
for?
out here for. They might not even have to do
They
that.
ain't gonna use that.
And
Yeah,
they are too gonna use that.
I mean, to me, that ain't a big joker though.
They won a Oscar. That is
I
a
mean-
big joke.
I mean, the
And then
award is,
I'm
but
talking
that
about
song really
Juicy
not as
J.
cold.
I'm talking about the thing is Juicy J can play new songs.
yeah, he sure can.
Listen, man, I don't see the wash, but
I see a washing.
washing
15-5.
I see a washing.
15 to 5.
I see a washing.
Because like
Wow.
we talked about this before, how there you can still hear.
What's the venue? Is this?
I don't know, but I'm saying because part of it is you can hear a thread of 3-6 Mafia music in new music now.
You
They're
can.
sampling 3-6 Mafia music
Hey, DJ
to make new hits
DJ
now.
Paul got a lot of kids running around here. I ain't gonna hold you.
As long
That's true.
as folks is out here juking
Yeah.
and whatnot, there's no way that Bone Thugs and Harmony are touching.
I need
3-6
country
Mafia.
black. I mean, I need crunchy black with a mic. That's all I'm saying. I need-
You know what? At first, I
Come
was,
on, Vlad.
I was thinking at first, I was like, no, Bone Thugs has the bigger hits. I think they have bigger hits,
Bigger
like,
records?
bigger records that reach,
But they don't have
more. But they
enough.
don't have
The-
the heaviest. They don't have heavy records. They don't have like the cult classics or
Nah.
anything like that.
And I don't even think Bone from a, in certain situations, performance and being dope, like the Locks. The Locks, everybody thought Dipset had the anthem, but
Right.
Kiss stole the show.
Man.
I don't even think Bone can perform their way. It's gonna be hard. That's what I'm saying. I don't know about the washing, but it's
Yeah, they
gonna,
gonna
be
be
hard.
hard.
You think
They
they're
gonna-
gonna-
He said
they gonna lead the night with Who the Crunk is.
Ooh.
That might be the first song.
They could play Late Night Tip.
Yeah.
They could, there's just songs that you
They got
forget
songs, man.
about that 3-6 Mafia had.
Gangsta Boo, where them dollars at?
So here's my thing, are there any Bone features that we're forgetting about? Because y'all know features, the whole spectrum of features can be put.
I mean,
taken
yeah,
together. So
Crazy
I mean, they
Bone
could
was
play.
on,
They could play Breakdown with Mariah Carey.
They can play
All
that.
right.
Crazy
Okay.
Bone was on what's the Lil Jon joint?
Oh man, I'd have to look
Stay
it up.
Fly. Not that one, but Brothers Tonight said Stay Fly is a record.
Oh yeah, that's going.
Stay Fly is a big joker.
Definitely is.
Hey man,
What is a song with him and?
I feel like it might be some Bone features out there.
But the thing is, you
think of
can't.
them,
We
though.
can't. Other
I
than
can't think
what
of
I
them.
just mentioned with the Mariah Carey. That
We don't give a.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's a big joker if he gets to use it.
I don't know, man.
I give him that.
Because like I said, there's the 3-6 look, the 3-6 Mafia, the offshoots and family members. Like,
And Wiley, even though you gone, you still got love for behind. They might have to play both them versions. Just
they're about to play both versions of the Crossroads.
yeah.
I tell you what though, like y'all said, you know, Bone when they're gonna have to shoot, but when they shoot, like first of the month is gone. I don't
Did
care.
not play that one song that was that Lazy that had that song on
Paper.
Ain't
Get the
no
paper.
Nah, the one that was on BET Uncut.
Joker the 𝗲𝗱 It's
Ain't
like,
nothing like
ain't nothing like money in a Ziploc bag.
Let's not play
You
that.
better not play that.
Yeah,
Look,
let's not play
he
that.
I
must-
don't know. Sounds like a bop.
They
No, it
must-
doesn't. No, don't do that. It does
They
not
mess
sound
around
like
and get a
pop.
point.
Do not do that. Don't do that.
Don't let them bring Joker the Bail. They had to get Joker the 𝗲𝗱 to come from Alaska.
Straight up.
Hey man, stop this Bone slander, man. We
I'm
gotta
not
cut
stop-
this
look.
out, man.
Look, once
ain't got
again,
enough, man.
That's culture.
Ain't got enough.
That's culture. Money in a Ziploc bag might be a point.
All I know is, from a crowd standpoint, I don't care what region we in. 3-6 gonna have more than enough to get everybody.
you would
involved.
think-
You
you
would
would
think
root
so.
for the
Bone Thugs
for
were to bring a
3-6
lunch.
with them being from the Midwest, but
Yeah.
I got to keep it all the way 100, man. They ain't got enough.
I'm talking,
All right,
and
man.
you know what? Like, I'm still outside, and I hear there's still records by 3-6 and 3-6 affiliates
Yeah,
Listen,
is getting much
DJ
love.
Paul.
I very rarely hear anything from Bone.
DJ
that
Paul.
Chronicles album with Juicy J
Yeah.
by himself.
somebody put me onto
The
that.
Tear the Club Up Thugs album.
He's still putting out good music too.
Yeah, I ain't gonna. I can't lie.
The song that Juicy J did with Webby.
I'm always here for any Webby. I'm
Yeah,
here
he
for.
sure did, didn't he?
I'm here for any Webby. I don't care what it is. I'm here for any.
Yeah,
Webby.
you gotta understand what it is.
Yeah, Bone ain't got enough, man.
All right, man. That's
That's the prediction.
the prediction. Bone ain't got enough.
And
All
why,
right.
you know,
I guess
So,
we'll see.
Yeah, we will see.
We'll
We're
see.
gonna put this out and then
We'll see
we'll see what the
tonight.
comments say.
We'll see tonight because yeah.
Somebody in the comments gonna ride and be like, "Man, y'all tripping. I'm from Cleveland." Bone got, and they gonna list.
You know
a
what
whole
it's going to
bunch-
be? It's going to
bunch
be
of
somebody that's going to say, "Oh, you're tripping." They're not going to say they're from Cleveland, but their avatar is going to be like LeBron James with that, with that avatar, and their name's going to be like the Super James
Come on,
28.
man. Shout out to Cleveland, man. I got family in Cleveland. Once upon a time,
I guess
Jay
I
Diff
can't say
dissed
that
Jay Diff dissed my family reunion shirt from Cleveland. So.
I think that
because
was
it
a
was
worthy
looking real
Honestly,
Tennessee.
that was a worthy dissing.
You had that coming. That shirt.
All right,
was,
man. Enough of this slander.
Whoever designed that shirt,
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man.
stretched Ohio
didn't have the-
to the
yeah.
Rams of
Yeah.
Tennessee.
They're like, "Oh, I can crop."
Didn't have
Come
the
on,
DPIs
man.
together.
I feel you. The disrespect. All right, let's go ahead and get let's get into this
caught
next
that.
topic. I should have.
You was the one that brought it
I
up.
wasn't on the staff though. That ain't for my. I mean, for the committee. That wasn't my state. So we just had to rock what we got. All right, let's go ahead and jump into-
Family's so big, it's got committees in different
Stop,
states.
man.
It's crazy.
Let's go into this next topic. Let's see. Shout out to hypebeast.com. This is I cite my sources. This article, the title says T-Pain finds young artists constant need for momentary popularity to be discussing. I'm going to read you his tweet and then we can kind of jump into it. He says the way that artists are starting to believe that momentary popularity is better than longevity.
What's
I
up?
said longevity. Longevity is super disturbing and really want y'all to think about the future and generational wealth. It's bigger than that right now. You got a lot of lives in your hands and a generation to start. So T-Pain is pretty much saying, you know, everybody is about the instant gratification and, you know, getting to the bag, not thinking long term, not thinking longevity, especially from a standpoint of just even a product that you put out, thinking long term, everything is instant. When I saw this, I actually agree with it, but I don't know if it covers the entire spectrum of music because I know there are artists out there that still think, I guess, a little more long term than the average person. On the mainstream, I 100% think he is on the money. Unless I'm wrong, we'll go around the room and see what you guys think. Lon, what do you think about that? What do you take from that when you hear T-Pain's tweet?
Well, just off top, based upon the comment that he read, I can't speak on like the entirety of what he was saying because I don't know the full context of it, right? But I would say that I don't know if I get where the thought is coming from, right? Because the thought is coming from like, hey, if you're just doing stuff just for popularity for an instant and a moment, then you're not going to have. Historically, you turn into like a one-hit wonder or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like nowadays, if you're a one-hit wonder, you can turn around and you can turn that one hit into like brand deals and think about the Island Boys, man. I mean, shoot, they're popular because they look like Sideshow Bob and they have like a cool
really
catchy
do.
thing,
Chain,
you know.
chain.
They really do.
So, but you know,
the gang.
I get where it comes from.
Hey, chill, man. Chill.
I get the I guess the thought that momentary popularity is kind of disturbing or whatever, because I think he's coming at it from an angle where it's like you're not putting a lot of work into the craft that you're doing. Maybe you're just trying to find a quick in and just hop around from thing to thing to thing.
Yeah.
That's not a good way to build like a longevity of something.
Yeah.
I understand that aspect of it, but I do feel like now we're in an era where it's also important as a creative, in my opinion, to not be too hung up on certain ideas to the point to where you do it to death too long.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you think that you have a good idea and you try it over and over and over again,
Yeah.
and you keep failing for over a year, that could have been 12 different ideas that you tried out.
So I heard you when you started off. I get the sense that you're saying, like I said, I'm just paraphrasing here based off what you said. There are multiple ways now to obtain the longevity versus just focusing on the music. Like you said, you can have one record, it can pop, and then that could open up ventures to do 5 or 6 other things that might build longevity, right?
Yeah, I think the approach that I have changed throughout time, because I understand where he's coming from this mindset. I have this mindset, but I have had to adapt it throughout the years to just kind of think, you know, like content and everything that is moving around is how fast it is coming out is not going away.
True.
You know, albums are not coming back in the way that we want them to.
Agree.
They're still going to be there, but they're never going to come back that way. And so like, if you really want to get ahead, you have to be able to play on people's need for instant gratification, need for momentary want and need. And those are those quick clips and all that other stuff that turns onto it. Now, think about Bad Baby. Think about, you know, all these artists. Like, she's an artist now.
Facts.
She was on a talk show off being like,
agreed.
So they turned her into an artist.
Yeah,
you
her
know,
bad behavior got her millions of dollars at this point.
Facts.
before, and that was before where we're at right now, to where like we have the case. Like, if you're out there to try some, I don't know. I guess I understand where he's coming from, and I personally respect people that put more work into their craft, but I understand why people look for the moments, because that is the quickest way to get there. And at the same time, it's hard if you're little, like, to grind something out for a very long time.
Yeah. That part has changed.
And if you grind it, you could grind it out for a really long time and get no real big return for it.
Sure.
Right.
People have to realize too that 9 times out of 10, these artists aren't really artists. And what I mean by
That's
that,
a good point.
they
That's
were put in
facts,
a
too.
position to where being a rapper or a singer or anything that they can do that can kind of hold somebody's attention is popular. So if this is what's popular, it's kind of, you can almost reference it to high school. People did things in high school to be popular. So if they couldn't play sports, they had to be good at something else,
Right.
regardless of what it is. If somebody said they can rap a little bit, I got a nice little style about myself, I dress cool, I can get this many followers, you know what I'm saying? I can get my bread up, and then I can probably transition to something else that I really want to do. People just want to be popular at this point in time.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the people, now you do have your core artists that are definitely in this for the musicality of everything, and you know what I'm saying, they want to produce records and be around forever.
Smaller percentage.
musically.
Yep.
But the mass population of people that's coming in the door and people are paying attention to are people that are just catching fire and lightning a bottle at that perfect time and then going on about their business. They never have to do this again. Like Lil Nas X does not have to make another album the rest of his life. And
Agreed.
Right. I think
I
it's
agree.
I think it's one of those things where we could be potentially talking about two different things, you know, because when we look at it from an artistry standpoint, it's different from maybe Mike's over here just having a whole conversation.
Yeah,
you know,
I put my mic away.
Yep, lost the whole train of thought. So there we go.
Oh,
okay.
no. Did I
No.
make you lose it?
Yeah, go ahead,
All
Jay.
right.
My
Okay.
fault.
See, this is the thing where this is the social media, you know, TikTok, and I'm not knocking TikTok because that's been a big help to what we do here.
Yeah.
But there really is a, hey, look at me. Just look at me. I'm over here doing something crazy. And people try to parlay that into actual fame. Now, you know, because we're in a position now in this society where, you know, that you didn't, like I said, that didn't used to be a thing. You had to either be really smart, really talented, or really beautiful
or
to
have
get
some
on
money.
Or have some paper.
Or honestly, even sometimes having a lot of money was not enough to get you on the cover of a magazine.
You had to have money
had
to just record.
So,
True.
you know, it was, like I said, you had to be really pretty, really smart, really famous, or really athletic to be on the cover of somebody's magazine. You know, that ended as soon as I saw, it was several years ago when Snooki from
Rolling
Jersey
Stone?
Shore, you know, here's somebody who is not smart, athletic, famous, or talented that was able to get on the cover of a magazine and move units.
Yeah.
You know, so that pretty much is what the, hey, look at me. No matter what it is that I'm doing, no matter how deplorable or just stupid, you know, hey, look at me. I can get famous like that. Now,
It's a social media effect.
Now, what you have really right now, and the thing is, in a way, the first thing that person that's really built off of this, and I hope this isn't a diss because I enjoy the show Good Times, but when you think about Jimmy J.J. Walker, you know, originally he was not the star of that show.
Right.
Okay. But then at a certain point, when they realized he was a star, they basically wrote that they would write whole scripts around how they could get him to say dynamite. Now, here it is 40 years later, maybe even more. I turn on the TV and there is a commercial about retirement benefits.
I saw that.
And, you know, here's Jimmy J.J. Walker telling you about the money you can get if you're over 65. And of course, they have to find a way to incorporate dynamite
That's how you get the bag
into the commercial. So a lot of times what it is that got you your attention,
that's what
you better understand that you're going to have to be that the rest of the time. Because like say he when they pitched him the commercial and he said, I don't want to have to say dynamite, they'd have been like, okay, well, you're not going to do the commercial and you're not going to get this money. So
too bad Hammer can't afford to pay all his dancers no more.
You know,
people will be paying to go see his show.
So I'm just saying, like, for people who are trying to get into this position to where they want to be famous, like, I want you to think, whatever silly thing that you're doing to gain yourself a certain notoriety, do you want to do that for the next 30 years?
They
Especially if it has
care.
nothing to do with your actual talent.
Listen,
You hear what he said?
the key formula here, and the thing that they want is the bag. So anything that they can do to get to the bag, they're with it. So, and then
for some
I mean,
people,
now today,
some
if
people
you're
are like,
smart,
there's
if you're
somebody
smart,
who probably wouldn't want to say dynamite for 40 years. They'd be like,
Well,
I'm
I mean,
so
that-
much.
that
They'd
was
be
in
like,
the
I'm so
70s
much
though.
more than that. And then like when they say, no, you're not, you have to deal with the fact that, you know, that's how they see you.
That's true, but that was in the 70s. So now, fast forward to today, they'll find somebody that has a new niche that's going to replace what you said. Like you
Quick,
can go
though.
back through social media and what meme was popping 10 years ago, and whoever was popular and was featured on the Ellen show, you don't hear anything about them anymore.
Right.
And it's because the microwave generation that we're in, like everything is fast. So they're always looking for something new. So the thing that the people coming up do have advantage of is being able to maneuver and take that bread, and blueprints have been laid out for everybody now.
It's an understanding.
You can get to somewhere else once you get that bag, add this to that situation, and make that pop. So you'll never have to even mess with that life.
I'll tell you the blueprint.
What's that?
This is if you're taking notes at home.
Long said, pull your pen out.
There's two things you need to achieve both things. To have to have longevity and to also build long-term success and to potentially grab onto that momentary thing. You have to have two things that you have to master. You have to put your 10,000 hours in, or you have to be extremely good at two things. One, whatever it is you do. That's where the integrity of the whole thing comes from, right? Because you can do it without that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have that, you can't last a long time. Can't last a long time.
Thanks.
But the other thing is if you have your artistic ability or whatever that is that you're doing, the other thing is how you present it or your content. Your content has to be impeccable and your craft has to be impeccable. If you do those two things, you will get to where you need to be eventually.
No matter what it is that you're doing.
Right.
As long as you know how to, there are obviously tons of baby steps underneath there, but the two top tiers, in my opinion, are master your craft, whatever that is, and master how you get content to people in whatever era. Right now we're in the era of oversaturation and push it out as much. If it doesn't matter if you're really good at it and your content's really good and your craft's really good, people are going to like it.
That's true.
And so if you can do that, there's obviously subcategories. You can keep the integrity. You can keep the people. You can keep the people that want to like you for you, and also rather than the people that are just going to laugh at you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like we're going to
actually mention something.
We're gonna check out the Island Boys because we want to laugh at them, just like the Rhode Island rappers that hopping out of refrigerators. Or whatever. You know. But
Warak.
Yeah, but if they were
new artists,
but if we were like they can actually rap a little bit, we would want to look
pay
for
attention to it.
Yeah, like say the kids who were doing Island Boys, like they had a 10-song album ready to go, and it was fire.
Right.
Then whatever.
Well, the Island Boys song isn't even really a song.
But
they just sang it in a pool.
Right. But say like they were really look. A lot of times there are people out here who are trading dignity for attention.
True.
And the thing is, if you're going to trade dignity for attention, at least have something for us to latch on to. Just don't be out here, shaking ass and doing goofy stuff.
Otherwise, you're wasting it.
Because then you're just a clown. You're really just out here like, okay, I'll be hot for this little bit of time because someone could look at me and they were like, oh wow, that's wild. They're not,
They can still go to their local bar and be popular for the rest of their lives.
But at the same time, I just want people to realize there's a big difference between being laughed with and being laughed at.
I mean,
there's an artist though that sees the day in the moment. Brought up in the chat. Shout out to Brother to the Night. Cardi B, is a prime example of somebody that seen an opportunity and did the proper steps, like Long just said, and did it to a T.
Yep.
She literally just hosted the AMAs a week or so ago. She's like popping. Like you don't see anybody that followed that love and hip hop format.
Right. Because the rest of the people been on Love and Hip Hop for 7 seasons.
Forever.
And don't have one song to show for it.
When's the last time she put
any of these people?
She capitalized
like 2 years ago. But she's popular.
But she's
not going to stop doing it.
Yeah.
Because she's already made it to that tier.
Yeah.
To where you can do anything now, and we're always going to have our eyes on you. Yeah. And what's crazy too is I'm going to add another caveat to that. Who gave her the blueprint was y'all remember Kat Stacks?
Yeah.
All these women have followed Kat Stacks' example and capitalized on it.
That's true.
Whereas I don't know what happened to Kat Stacks, but she fell off. Nobody knows what happened to Kat Stacks.
Yeah.
But she pretty much showed all of these women, dudes too for that matter, how to get on the internet, get popping, get popular, just say anything, do whatever you want to do, and ride it out and see what happens.
There was a whole string of Kat Stacks at that time too. There was what was that? The Gucci, Fendi, Prada.
Shine.
Creation.
There were a handful of like.
Oh, they were about to hand her the keys to the kingdom. I remember
it was
that.
close. Yeah. It was close.
And then it was
her buddy started popping off N-words.
Yeah.
What you know? That one.
But even when you talk about Cardi B, which is a perfect example, she was wilding on Love and Hip Hop, but then she had 2 mixtapes that came out, and like
it was actually good.
Yeah,
That's
like
the other part.
I remember, like, I'll talk about this with DJ Metronome. He'd be like, "Look, man, you called it. I would have never checked for Gangsta Bitch Music 1 and 2 had you not said anything." Those are the names of the mixtapes.
But still,
Okay, yeah. But and then because I remember thinking, why would she sign with a label? Like, she's probably getting money without having to. But then, like, when Bodak Yellow came out, and we had to play it 3 times a night, and then I was
not get out,
and then I was like, nah, well, maybe she's a one-hit wonder, and then like she kept coming with records, and like even though she hasn't put another album out,
she only need to,
because like, okay, then she put out WAP last year, okay, during the pandemic. Just stop the culture for a minute. Everybody had to talk about it, whether you like Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion or not. And then put out, once we opened up a little bit, had Up ready to go, a song that can still go off in the club. Like, look, I said, if anybody has capitalized off of this social media, do it for clout era, it has been Cardi B.
You know what? You said, Terry, when you were talking about
Cat Stacks got deported.
Who said? Okay, it had to be somebody in the chat.
No wonder we haven't heard from her. She's wherever she got deported to don't have good internet.
when he talked about
that was unnecessary.
Make sure you
Shout out to Cat
know what you're gonna be popular for. I saw an interview with my boy that played Braxton on Jamie Foxx.
Oh yeah,
and he said he can't hide from Braxton now, and it frustrates.
Let's give him his props. Christopher B. Duncan is his name.
Thank you. I could not remember his name, but he can't hide from. He says he goes into auditions now, and the first thing they say is like, "Braxton, what's up?" and it burns him up.
That's because when he was in what was the movie shot in Gary?
Man,
Original Gangster.
Original Gangsters. Well, nobody trying to see Braxton,
but he wasn't Braxton yet. The show had not come out yet.
Yes, it did.
No. Original Gangsters is like 96.
Yeah, that's before Jamie Foxx.
Well.
And he says ever since then, whether it's screenplay,
no, it was out.
Chad,
it was out.
Chad, if you're in the chat,
somebody looked that up.
Google the year for.
I remember seeing him
Jamie
as a
Foxx
gangster
show
before he was.
Yeah, Google that. Somebody put that in the chat. But he said he hates that because he says it's a gift and a curse because it's a blessing that he was on the Jamie Foxx show and it propelled his career. But he can't shake Braxton in 2021. I mean, they still call him Braxton.
Just the same way Jaleel White can't really shake Urkel.
Yeah, I mean, he did though, because now he got a strain that is doing very well.
But what did he use to promote?
What did he use to promote the strain?
He used Urkel. He jumped back in the character.
It's actually called that too.
But there are also people that have embraced it. I remember hearing Fonte told the story about meeting Michael K. Williams.
Yeah,
and he said Omar, and he was like, man, and the story goes that he said essentially like, nah, man, it's amazing or something, He's like
my mama
calls me Omar.
Yeah.
He's like, I can't ask for anything more than So I think it depends on how you
That's fair, Lon. I mean, it depends on how you take it. Was it the same year?
Yeah.
What year?
Okay. Well, so there are people who had seen
96.
Yeah,
it still came out first, Jay Moore. I'm with you.
I'm just saying.
It was Jamie Foxx show premiered in August of 96.
All right, so that movie had to come out before August. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, I'm with
First
you.
First of all,
Jay
didn't
Moore.
a whole bunch of people
came out in May.
There we go. He was
he had already shot those episodes.
Yeah,
because he had already shot Original Gangster.
He was a thug first. Yeah, that's all. Good. Okay.
But hey, but once again, Christopher
he was
B.
a terrible
Duncan.
thug though. He was a better.
No, he was all right. Look, first of all, Original Gangsters was not a great, other than Drew Down.
Wow.
His perm was always popping.
Yeah. Shout out to Pam Grier though.
Always shout out to Pam Grier.
I'm sorry, I went in my straight quiet storm voice. I was like, shout out to Pam Grier.
Yeah, that's the right voice.
He gave a little slight hum at the end of it too.
Yeah, always shout out to Pam Grier.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Let's run the partnership court.
Thanks to our partners. Dr. Coleman of Coleman Dental is our go-to dentist. He's a longtime Indianapolis arts and music supporter located right in Broad Ripple. Printfinity is a screen printing shop based in Indianapolis, owned and operated by our own DJ Jay Diff. Our good friends at Indie CD and Vinyl operate one of the best record stores in North America. Shop new and used in their site or visit them in person. Sun King Brewery is what we're drinking on every episode. Check out their many local locations, and they might just be selling in your city if you're not in Indianapolis. And the best way to support the New Old Heads is to visit our Patreon and become a member for as little as $3 a month. All details on newoldheads.com.
We are back. Shout out to the homie Lone for I hadn't done that, and it feels weird doing that because Red August normally, just a throwback, bro. That's all. Good job on that one. And that was a good transition,
During the
brother.
break, Mike said he wanted to take Amelia Bedelia out on a date.
Wow.
Just
Shout out to Pam Grier though again. I know Jay Moore went
tighter.
I know Jay Moore went to his Quiet Storm voice, but yeah, that was rightfully so because yeah, Pam is the truth. All right, let's go back, get back into the rundown. Shout out to the chat. I see y'all some comedy in there, especially the one about being deported. That was funny. Let's see. Let's talk about. Let's go to a tweet. Or actually, IG post from Skyzoo. Lone talked about this on the last episode. He mentioned coming up with different categories, and as we talked about Grammy nominees, and the homie Skyzoo actually, I don't know if he heard. If you did, Sky, we appreciate you. I don't know if he heard what we were talking about. I hope that's the case. But he made an interesting post on IG. I'm going to read this, and we can kind of jump into it. It says, "So it seems like every year." Hashtag Grammys Recording Academy adds new categories to their slate. That being said, we getting this best underground rap album category one day or nah? Mind you, we shouldn't have to be subcategorized, but we know how the game goes. I agree with that 100%.
I'm with it.
I'm with this. I think if we're gonna do best melodic, I don't know.
Rap,
whatever those were that
right.
we read. Like I even said they were weird last week when we talked about it. But I understand where it's coming from.
They're
because
trying to evolve.
Yeah, I understand that part of it. It's just strange from a hip hop standpoint, but I understand what he's saying when he, especially when he talks about, just the concept of the subcategories. But I'm all for this, and his album would actually be one of the nominees in my personal opinion.
It would. You know who would clean up in that category?
That's what I was gonna ask.
Would be the most popular underground cat.
Yeah, it's always
would be Currency.
See that's the thing.
Is he not?
So that's what I was gonna say. What constitutes underground?
Okay, so
because then we have underground, then we have underground.
I'm
Then
gonna
we have
come-
underground.
Yeah,
I'm gonna come to you, Lone. Let me add. Look, I'm glad you said that. So if we look at it from a following I know. If we're looking at it from a following standpoint, in my opinion, now I could be wrong. It's just my assessment. Currency's cult following, if you will, is bigger than Skyzoo's.
Right.
On the underground, from an underground standpoint.
Probably.
But I still think, I don't know, man, historically, I would still see them somewhat as peers. I don't think of Currency as being someone that's towering above Skyzoo from a perception standpoint.
Right.
That's just me now. We'll talk about it. But
I just talked about another album, 2 albums that would have been featured in that, in my personal opinion.
What's that?
Would have been the 𝗏𝗏 Apollo Brown joint.
You did.
And Joel Ortiz.
But what do you think about that, Lone? From how do we decipher what's what? That's a fair point what you said, but I look at them more closely to peers, I guess, than what the numbers would say. If that's
I think the issue with it to me is that it's the style.
okay.
Because if we have a melodic rap are we gonna have a melodic rap underground?
Right.
Like, what is
They probably
underground
would just group them.
sound?
They would group everybody in the same category.
That's what would
Which
happen.
still would throw a monkey wrench in the whole situation.
It would.
So I don't think it would actually fix anything unless they defined it as best hip hop album with classic boom bap drums.
And then they won't do that. That's too much. Yeah, they're not gonna
right.
do that.
You're right, and I also think it's too much. Maybe the Grammys isn't just. Maybe the
There
Grammys
needs
is
to
just what
be
the Grammys
another
is.
award show that actually sticks.
I mean, but best
going.
best underground rap album to me sounds good and would fit.
But
Yeah, but what is it?
But this is the thing, because they do have a category, best traditional R&B album or best traditional R&B song.
The Weeknd won that.
But see,
why?
But this is how you do
Don't
it.
even get me
Okay, so
started.
maybe we look at if they were to do best underground hip hop, they decide, okay, well, this song only didn't crack the top 200 and this album didn't crack the top 150 as far as albums sold, and so therefore it has to be underground. Like,
Has
so
to be
once again,
Okay.
you're already putting parameters on the category that are created by people who are outside the culture.
And there
By
are parameters
popularity.
on the other categories, like in
There
comparison to. I'm talking about in comparison to that, though.
But this is where we get into, okay, why are we putting so much stock into
The
these
Grammys.
people giving us awards based on their criteria?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm not mad.
I think we just
I'm not
want,
mad at the notion because I get where we come from. We've talked about the Grammys and doesn't mean anything. We've talked about that.
we just
but
want the Grammys to mean something.
that's what I'm saying. Like I'm not mad at the notion. It's just I agree with what you,
You gotta
all say from
understand
the
too where
like,
we
the
came up
criteria.
at. So we came up in a generation that Michael Jackson went home with 10 Grammys in one show.
Yeah.
And like that's what you paid attention to for music was the Grammys.
Yeah.
So I think that kind of follows us based on what we put up on a pedestal at a certain point in time in our lives. So that still means something to us to a certain degree. I think that's why people still want the Grammys.
I agree. I mean, there's still an allure to it, but it just comes back to the fact that you can't. We can't seem to define anything, and one, two, it's art, and we shouldn't even be trying to define it anyway.
It would never be right because even if they did decide to do an underground situation, they wouldn't include the underground artists that we would consider underground.
Yeah.
What happens when all of a sudden,
Like who's picking underground?
What happens when Freddie Gibbs and Madlib gets nominated in the main category? Then
Because I mean,
because it would
he's
give them
crossed over to the main
it
category.
would give them an
already.
excuse not to put Freddie Gibbs and Madlib. And so, because there's like, why would we put just, and this is, I'm not saying this has happened, it would give them an excuse not to put Freddie Gibbs in the same category as a Drake or a Kendrick Lamar. Be like, oh, you haven't sold enough records.
and
to be
that's,
up
I
here with
think
these
that's
guys.
problematic in itself.
Because Alfredo was
It was nominated for something.
it was
wasn't
nominated, but that was a one-off year.
But we already
We
know
knew that, though.
We know what the stipulation and criteria are for these Grammys. It's not even necessarily the album that sounds the best.
Oh,
It's
no.
which one sold more, which one was listened to by more people across different genres and cultures and colors. It's not about which one was the best one. We seen that with Good Kid, Mad City. Good Kid, Mad City was probably up until that point the best album that had dropped in probably 10 years at least. But it didn't even win an award.
To me, that's whack.
That's where, honestly, I feel like that's where the Grammys have lost. They lost a lot of credibility that year when they, and nothing against Macklemore and Ryan Davis, you know what I'm saying, or Lewis. See, that's just it.
that was
like
clearly
when,
wrong.
you know, but like when's the last time you really said someone was going to play what's the song, Thrift Shop or whatever?
That still gets
I mean,
played, though.
but to Terry's point about
yeah, I mean, but you know, when you talk about playing, you could play album cuts off a Good Kid, Mad City, and people are going to know what time.
But
it
what
is.
Terry said about in relation to the criteria and talking about when you talked about the sales and who's listening to
Ryan
what.
Davis is a comedian. Shout out to
Yeah,
him.
he's hilarious by the way. I thought that's what the Billboard Awards were for. Record sales and who sold the most
That's
and all
what
that.
the American Music Awards are for.
Or, you
They
know,
are
one of
about,
those.
like, that's about analytics. That is not about, like,
to me, that
artistic.
shouldn't go into that shouldn't be a determining huge factor
Which
in
is
the
why
Grammys.
I've
to me.
said since the beginning of the show when we first started that the Grammys are pointless.
You've been, yeah.
Like,
You've
I
been
mean,
saying that since
because until they start doing something that makes sense, like, why should we care about it, man? Why? Like, I know we want the Grammys to matter. I'm just calling them the Grammys from now on.
Grammys.
But you know, it's
Granny
just
Apple Award.
it's just at this point in
Shout out to
time,
Granny
it's just something that it's cool when they get it right,
yeah. And it's tragic when they
and when they get it
really-
wrong, it's just like
How often? What
when they
is the
get it
track
wrong,
record?
we understand because they've been getting it wrong
Yeah.
for so long.
What is
Yeah.
the track record of them getting it right?
track record is trash.
Look, I just
Track
remember,
record's
I
trash.
remember when, you know, Diggable Planets beat out Snoop and Queen Latifah. It was like, oh wow, like they kind of got it right that year, but they've been getting it wrong. Look, when you think about who's never won or never even been nominated,
Come on, man.
come on.
Like
Like the fact that it took till King's Disease for Nas
Come
to
on,
win
man.
one Grammy.
Come on.
come on, man.
You know, there are people. Look,
Snoop still
it's-
has not won a Grammy.
It's
yet.
all
That
like,
might be the
Really?
dumbest.
It's all political.
Yeah.
And when you understand it's all political, who's gonna pay the money? Because you got to pay money to perform.
Snoop done been featured.
He should
on
have
something.
he should have
got a
accidentally
Grammy by now.
won a Grammy.
Exactly.
That's how long he's
by
been
now.
doing
He
this.
should have been on something that should have got a Grammy by now. But I'm
Snoop is the most consistent, time warping individual artist I've ever seen in my life.
I feel like Snoop, this is going to be maybe a controversial talk. I feel like Snoop, you know, everybody says.
Be careful, Lone.
Everybody says that Jay-Z is the GOAT, right?
Okay.
There's an argument for Snoop.
I can understand the
There
argument.
I
is
can
an argument for
understand
Snoop.
that. I can understand
And
that.
because,
difference
and
is-
because he can cross over more
He
than Jay
can.
can.
His chameleon game is higher
Yes.
than Jay's.
The
but
difference is Jay-Z found his niche and he kept on digging and picking at it. He never stopped.
True.
Whereas Snoop, this is where Snoop messed up. That second album. That
Yes.
second album,
Yes.
after following up Doggy Style, and then you drop the Dogfather,
Right.
and it was absolute trash. Like, nobody can sit here and tell me
Yeah, we
that
talked about
had
a few weeks
anything
ago.
good on it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then he pretty much, like, he's definitely the king of reinventing himself and staying relevant in the game. And he's one of the GOATs, but he's not the GOAT.
Jay Diff, let me ask you this real quick. This is just random. Follow me. Which album is better? The Dogfather or Nostradamus?
Nostradamus.
Nostradamus?
The
For you?
Dogfather is absolute trash.
But which album is better?
Nostradamus. I already said it.
Nasty Nostra.
Stop,
Nostradamus
Don't do
still
that.
has
Don't
some
do
good
that.
joints on it.
Now he is
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Nostradamus.
The only
I
good
mean, I
The
love
only good
Snoop,
song
but I
on-
remember
on
listening.
Dogfather was probably Snoop's Upside Your Head, and that's
And-
because Charlie Wilson was.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. I'm just checking the temperature.
I feel like
saying.
we can throw both of them away if we want.
We could, except for Project Windows. I'm keeping that.
You want to
I'm
keep that one?
Yeah, I got to keep Project Windows, and I got to keep just Project Windows. Just Project Windows.
I still remember the feeling I had when I opened up that CD. My brother got that for me for Christmas.
Nostradamus.
Yeah.
That's a terrible Christmas.
But at the time,
That
it was
wasn't
like,
But at the time, it was like,
Introduction to
yeah,
Nas,
yeah.
though, was it?
No.
No, he was
no,
on
no,
before
no,
that.
no,
Yeah,
no.
he was
but
on.
no,
before
he
that.
got it for me. I was like, oh, that's, okay.
Thank you.
And, I played it. It was like, man, this is,
You wouldn't groove in your bedroom when you heard you owe
Be
me.
careful, man. Be careful. Genuine.
Hey, what's your pride? The thing is, that's not
That song ain't bad. though.
No, as a commercial, but that's not what we want
It's
from Nas.
cool.
No, it's not cool. It is a great commercial. When you think about what was going on, I was outside at that time.
Yeah.
that was a great commercial.
And Hate Me
rap
Now on that
song.
album?
No,
No, I'm getting that confused with it. See, I'm
am.
showing my age.
No.
Okay.
you can hate me
but that was a
now.
great commercial rap song.
I'm showing my
But-
age.
Not from the dude that gave us The World Is Yours.
Yo, Project Windows, go. I'm sorry.
But you know what? Like that Nostradamus album,
that go.
there was
Shout out to Ronald
it,
Isley.
it got super like it was supposed like it got bootlegged to death. They had to move around stuff and re-record things.
But
the Lost Tapes
Trash.
better than
Complete trash.
put out the
Yeah,
bootlegs.
the Lost Tapes wasn't
It
even
was supposed
mastered.
at one point it's supposed to be a double album. There was a lot that went on in that era.
Well, the
we can't
Dogfather
we
is
can't even
trash.
give him an excuse for
I-
that because that was hogwash.
I don't wanna hear-
He could have kept his album that came out I Am that year and just let that ride.
Hey,
and,
if you
and
in the
threw
co-
that one away.
If you in the comments on TikTok or whatever, we appreciate the support as always. But I'm gonna need a thorough explanation as to why y'all think the Dogfather is not trash. Convince me. I'm gonna jump in the comments. Please tell me if
I've
there's
never-
anybody's out there why
I've-
the Dogfather is not
I've
trash.
never
We gonna
talked to
talk about
anybody
it.
that told me that Dogfather.
Somebody
wasn't
else-
trash.
somebody
I don't know.
out there.
I don't
There's
know
somebody out
anybody who's just like, say, let me revisit the Dogfather.
I'm gonna request
That's
the
one of
Dogfather
those
next time I
albums
go to
that I bought,
Coldplay, I'm a-
paid good
I'm a-
money for, and was upset because I spent some good money on an album that was trash.
I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna request Blueberry and Snoop's Upside.
Is that one of the biggest fall offs ever from a great album
I
to
mean,
that is
that's
the definition of a sophomore slump.
year.
okay,
Yeah,
okay. That's what I was looking for. A sophomore slump.
he
That,
came back though. So
he came back.
and not everybody comes back.
No, a lot of times that sophomore slump, that's the end of your career.
Did y'all like the No Limit albums from Snoop? Did y'all like
I was cool off those personally.
okay.
Last Meal,
actually,
No Limit,
last-
Top Dog. Those
No
were-
Limit
those
Top
went.
Dog was
that first
cold.
one.
Yeah, it was shaky, but No Limit Top Dog was cold.
Yeah.
Rhythm and Gangster is probably
Rhythm and Gangster
one
was
of my
really
Yeah, but that was
That-
like that was after that.
That's way
not
after.
left.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
way
way
after.
after that.
All right, let's let's jump into this last topic. Long, are we? I wish Red August is here with his clock. Were we
We got about 10 minutes.
about 10 minutes? Okay.
You know what? Real quick though, if you haven't listened to Snoop's album with Dame Funk,
The Algorithm album that just came out is
Yes, go
but
listen
it's
to
not
that
all
too.
Snoop though. It's
but Snoop
more
did
of
a whole
compilation.
funk album with Dame Funk.
He did.
And man, like it was dope because it's Dame Funk and he's like an underground funk artist.
Yeah.
Modern day funk, been doing it forever.
Yeah.
And Snoop
But-
has
Yeah.
No, you gotta give Snoop
he has a
flowers.
reggae album. He has a gospel album.
Mm-hmm.
He had a little run with Pharrell.
He did a song with Stevie Wonder off of his Bush album called California Roll. That was my joint.
Yeah, that was during the Pharrell era.
Yep.
Shout out to Snoop, man. Shout out to Snoop. Snoop is definitely an OG, a legend, and 100% relevant in today's times. That
We're
going
just
on
going to
50.
act like Dogfather didn't happen.
We can throw it out the
It's a
window.
wash.
All right, man. Jay Diff brought this to my attention, or our attention, as we get ready for this last topic. Again, we appreciate the chat. Y'all acting a fool. I see y'all. We see y'all. Billboard is at it again, dropping the ball out here, misleading the masses from how we see it, I think. And there's a greatest of all time Hot 100 artists. They have a top 10 that is listed. And Jay Diff, for impact purposes, how should I read this, man? Should I start from 10? Should I just
You gotta start from
I just
10.
gotta start from 10. Okay. All right.
Mind you, this is the all-time. These are the top 10 artists.
How many
of all
times?
time.
Like all time?
Remember, like going back to like the 1600s and.
As long as Billboard's been calculating, I guess.
All right.
Cut it out, long. Like the 1600s. All right.
Davey, what's the name? Yankee Doodles is not on this list.
Neither one of those Christmas songs you've been singing. Are on
Have
there.
a holly jolly Christmas.
All right, man.
I think
We
that
gonna
one
redo
should be
that.
on that.
We gonna redo
He
that
like that
video
over
starring
Donnie.
Long.
You know what? I
he
would
like that over
I would
Donny
remake
Hathaway.
that.
Please don't remake that.
Why
Do
not?
it. I think you should.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be kind of funny. What if we did a New Old Heads Christmas album?
Let's
Where
do that.
That would be pretty fun.
Yeah.
Can we
I mean,
curse?
Yeah, I think we can.
I mean, I
curse.
think a lot of those
if we had-
Christmas songs are, they're to the point where you could do them without having to ask permission.
We could do an EP, probably about 3 or 4 cuts.
What if we just did like our own Christmas album, but it was whatever we wanted it to be? Because think about it, Outkast has a Christmas song, right?
Yeah.
Well, they actually referenced Christmas in the original.
Yeah.
True.
We don't have to be like as elaborate, but we could do some remakes or something.
Technically, they still referenced it eloquently in the when it came out on the album.
on the album?
True.
If you just have to know what they're talking about.
Right.
And
If we
once
can-
you
if I-
listen, you be like, oh damn, they are talking.
If I can
about
get
Christmas.
baritone Jay Moore and cursing Jay Moore, I'll consider this. But I
I'm
gotta
gonna
have
do the
both.
Temptations joint.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need you, Mike, to get into your Christmas bag.
Yeah, I can get my Christmas bag. Yeah, I can get some tambourines and stuff and sleigh bells.
Tambourines.
Yeah, sleigh bells. We do that. All right. So let's start at number 10 for the
You-
great.
you
Now
was
this
playing
is.
tambourine in church, huh?
I mean, I might have held one for stop long.
Yeah.
Stop doing that. All right, man. Greatest of all time, Hot 100 artists
Per Billboard.
per Billboard, all time, 1600s, Yankee Doodle, all that.
Ice cream song, everything.
Yeah, all of that.
Hold on,
Number
why
10
did he stick his feather in his hat and call it macaroni?
I don't know, man.
And called it macaroni.
I hate him. Man.
What is that about, man?
I hate him. That's
That
Drug
actually,
use.
yeah.
it's got to be drugs.
Okay.
All right.
Drugs.
Clarified.
All right, man. Number 10, Rihanna.
Top 10 artists of all time.
All
They already
time.
Wait a minute. What is this? Is this? You say it's Billboard.
Billboard.
Yes.
So is this based on airplay and
I don't care what it's
sales?
based on.
It's
She ain't
based
number
on
10.
whatever their criteria
Yeah,
is
she not number
for them
10.
being the top.
I mean, because Rihanna don't
Artist
even
of all
put
time.
music out anymore. She ain't put a record out.
Hey,
Put out some penny draws, though.
Yeah.
I
Got
mean,
that paper too.
but that doesn't have anything to do with what Billboard should
She
be.
was just Christian, the something of Barbados.
She was just what?
Christian, I mean.
Christening?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
I don't know what you're
All right,
talking
next one, 9.
Yeah.
Whitney Houston.
All time.
Say more got
I
it.
feel like I got to
There's a
say
slight-
all time after
there's a slight
everyone
side
goes.
eye.
It's like the thing is,
Be
when
careful,
I
man.
understand how analytics work, and sometimes we're like, it doesn't make sense to us from a cultural level. But you're like, okay, this is how much these songs
Whitney
played.
Houston has the talent. She has the
No.
albums. She
But
has
I'm
the
talking
records.
about and
Top
maybe,
10 artists of
and-
all
and
time.
Maybe they're talking about in the streaming era, because Whitney Houston's music streams very strong.
I don't know if that's.
I think this is just all time.
And you got and it's weird
I
because honestly, I would put it's Rihanna.
Couple of these are
I would
about
put,
to
I would
make you
put
change your
in a-
mind.
it's-
I
it's
feel like
messed up.
she could be in the conversation, though.
Yeah, she could, but at the same time, it's weird. I would put Rihanna ahead of Whitney Houston because
What?
Well, wait till you hear the rest of these names.
Rihanna has more studio albums than Whitney
Oh,
Houston.
you like
Wait-
that?
wait
Wait till you
till
see
you
this
hear-
next one. Number
All right.
8, Michael Jackson.
He's number 8.
How stupid is that?
All right, this is where we really get.
Eh.
Wait till you
Exactly.
see who's above him.
Let me continue and then we'll talk because we got about 6 minutes left.
So this whole thing is really based around where Michael is placed because Michael should be placed number 1.
Bruh, Janet is number 7.
Okay, see, this is where
See?
you know why this is wrong, because
See?
if you add up everything Janet has done,
Don't
and
do
much
this.
love to Janet Jackson,
about to go
all
off.
of her
He about to go off.
because once again, this is about Billboard. Everything that Janet Jackson has done as far as album sales, as far as just full LP sales,
just saying that 'cause
does
Janet
not
got a sign
match.
Nelly.
Does
all.
not match Thriller.
What about the
Okay,
fact that she was
never
on
mind.
Good Times?
You're right.
That means nothing.
She got burnt by that iron, man.
All right, man.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kim Fields' mama was in there doing it wrong, but it's
Kim
that's-
Fields' mama.
yeah. So but,
Wow.
But next who's above Janet Jackson? Let's get this right.
Number 6 is Stevie Wonder. Now, if Stevie ain't in your
Now
top,
Stevie deserves to be on this list.
but he needs to be higher than 6.
Once
in my
again,
opinion.
I'm trying. Is this based on emotion or analytics,
I don't know,
or
brother.
a mixture of both? Because even if you do a mixture of both, there's no way Stevie Wonder should be
Here's one
ahead
thing I
of
will
Michael
say.
Jackson.
Here's one thing I-
We already
Whoa.
know that Michael Jackson. Yeah, he should be
Whoa.
ahead of Mike.
Nobody should. First of all, I'm saying that out of respect for Stevie.
Yeah.
Nobody. When you're talking about analytics, nobody should be ahead.
Well,
of
here's an
Michael.
interesting thing so far.
What if I told you Stevie's catalog is better than Michael's?
What if I told you Prince isn't even on this list?
What if
Good point. Go ahead.
Then I'd say
the
this list is some foolishness.
The interesting thing so far is there's been no white artists so far.
Oh, just wait.
wait.
Trust
Yeah,
me. That's
just
top
wait.
5.
No. That's what I'm getting to.
Okay.
Notice how 10, 9, 8,
I
7,
see where you're
6
going.
are all black artists.
I
right?
see where you're going. Well, how about this? Mariah Carey, number 5.
Oh, so she got
This
the
is
half.
where it
She's a
starts to
heavy,
change.
right?
Listen, hey, you know what? And it is the exact place for somebody to be half black
half
and half white.
Yep.
Now watch this.
Number 4, Elvis Presley.
Who? Evelyn Presley.
Elvis Presley.
Elvis Presley is number 4. Elvis Presley is
The
number
change
4.
has come.
Oh,
Are y'all
man.
serious?
It is now.
Elvis Presley is
it
number
now
4?
faded to the white artist for the top 5.
Want to keep going, buddy?
Yeah, let's see what's next.
Number.
So that's Chuck Berry. So who we got next?
Thank you. Number 3, Elton John.
Hey,
I mean, Elton's good.
he's
He
good.
ain't colder than Stevie. I don't care what nobody say out
He
there.
deserves to be on the list. I
He
give
ain't
you
colder than
that.
Stevie.
Yellow
I ain't
Brick Road.
saying no. I'm not saying that.
He
at
got
all.
some albums that could go par to par.
He ain't
bar
colder
to
than
bar.
Stevie.
Elton is nice.
He
I
ain't
ain't
colder
gonna front
than
on
He
Elton
nice.
John.
He ain't colder than
I ain't gonna
Stevie.
front on Elton.
All right. What's the next white artist?
Madonna.
Okay,
Oh,
this
now
is where
you-
this is where we're really getting off in the.
And listen to where she places at number 2.
2.
Now, she should be right next to Whitney Houston and Rihanna.
She
She shouldn't be under
yeah.
them.
She should be under them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She should be under. She should be under Whitney. She
de-
should
and
be above Rihanna.
She definitely should be under Michael Jackson.
Way under
Yeah,
Michael
there's
Jackson.
no reason. Yeah. No.
And number 1, drum roll, please.
The Beatles.
It's the Beatles.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting that the Rolling Stones weren't mentioned.
What makes the? Can I ask?
What
we
if
don't
I
have
told
enough
you
time.
that? What if I told you that I would prefer to have Anita Baker on the list versus Rihanna?
You
I
know
mean-
that doesn't make any
I
sense.
know.
But I understand.
I
I wouldn't be
mean-
mad at you, but it ain't gonna make no sense.
Anita
for them.
Baker probably makes better music, in my opinion.
way better.
But when like I said, it's just like when we talk about the American Music Awards or the Billboard Awards. I know who's going to win because I know who sold the most records and who had the most radio play. We were talking about like what we got to. Come on, fam.
Since we getting
Like when you have Janet above Michael, that's when you know it's a problem.
since
Man,
we
that's
get, since
just
we getting
blatant disrespect.
But check this out though. Since we getting close to time, I'm just gonna go around real quick. To finish it off, what is the most egregious thing about this list? If you could only pick one.
Man.
Rihanna 10, Whitney 9, Mike 8, Janet 7, Stevie 6, Mariah 5, Evelyn 4, Elton 3,
I kind of don't
Madonna
like how
2, and
look,
the Beatles.
I don't
1.
like
Honestly-
the midpoint where it switches with it being a mixed artist. So it switches from being
like,
the
oh,
top 5 to
we got a heavy-
half black, half
No,
white.
I
Keep
mean
your- keep
honestly,
your third eye
if we're
open
talking
out there.
about Billboard, and once again, I'm thinking about analytics when you're talking about Billboard. I could make a case for Mariah Carey being number 1 because every year at Christmas time,
Jay,
her
we ain't
song
talking
goes-
about Billboard numbers.
Yeah.
her song goes back to number
What's-
1
what's
on the
the- what's
chart.
the-
We know that she doesn't belong there.
What's the stupidest thing on this list, man? Give me one. What's the dumbest thing on this list
The dumbest.
that just bothers you the most before we get out of here? What's the dumbest thing on this list?
Janet being above Michael.
Man,
Okay.
Yeah, that. And
That's
just because you
silly.
said that, and I love Rihanna, but she doesn't deserve to be on the top 10.
Okay,
Nah,
that was gonna be my pick. There's no way she's
I mean,
top 10 on this all
no,
time.
there's got to be somebody else that deserves that at 10 spot.
Long, give me one thing that makes this list that just bothers you about this list before we get out of
just the name Elvis Presley.
here.
You know, I've
Where's
literally
Drake?
never listened to an Elvis Presley
It's because
song.
he's
other than what probably got played on a commercial.
I mean, he's like
Elvis low key is probably one of the most gassed artists.
He's like
of all
that
time.
era's Vanilla Ice.
Yeah, that
He
stole
ain't even
everything.
Vanilla Ice
Yeah,
because Vanilla Ice was actually writing his trash raps.
Fam just took.
Whereas
really.
Elvis was taking
just-
lyrics and stuff
How
written
about
by
Marky
black
Mark?
artists.
Yo, shout to Big
and
Mama Thornton, who
dances.
actually
Thank
wrote
you.
Hound Dog.
Thank you.
And then he even took Forrest Gump swag and was out here
wow.
being a cultural
Shout out
vulture.
to Chuck Berry.
Here's
too.
another element that because shouts to Abe in the chat. There's no hip hop artists mentioned on here at all.
None. Kanye ain't feeling that at all.
Nah,
Well, he doesn't. Well,
Be
that's
careful.
Another
Hey,
that's
be
another
careful.
conversation.
they coming for you in the chat. Be careful. All right, that'll do it for this episode. As I always say, make sure you go to Google, search any and everything that you can find that says New Old Heads. Like it, subscribe it, and hit the bell if there's a bell for notifications. We appreciate all the support as always. Chat, we see you. Stick around for the post show, and we'll see y'all next week. Peace.
Yeah.
Goodbye.